guys, it is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. I have a great one from Elton John today, one that's actually got a lot of guitar in it. It's not like really, it's actually more guitar based than it is piano based, but we'll learn how to do Daniel. It's one of Elton John's favorite songs that he's done, so it is a fun one. Got a good workout, good bar chord workout for you guys that have, well, that can easily play them, or that have trouble. This is a great song to work on it because it's mostly just bar chords and kind of work on your endurance a little bit. Now, before we get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell, like and comment. It really helps. But what really helps the most is to join my Guitar Academy. If you want to keep these lessons going on YouTube every week, the best way to do it is actually join my Guitar Academy, because that helps me battle the dwindling YouTube algorithm that is killing all guitar channels or tutorial channels at least. But it's okay as long as you join my Guitar Academy and keep doing this. And you'll see a link to that in the description below. Free 7-day trial. Click on that link, and that when you join my Guitar Academy, you get full access to all of my guitar courses. I got courses for complete beginners to more advanced courses in technique, improvisation, ear training, theory for some serious study. You get personalized support from me, and you get full access to all my live streams that I do every weekend for just Academy members. All right, so come over and join us. Free 7-day trial. Come on. All right, let's jump into this standard tuning here, and we're going to start off here with this intro. All right, so it's going to start. A lot of times when you play this C major chord in this song, he puts a fifth in the bass. So if you don't know what that is, first you play a normal C major, all right? But what we're going to do is we're going to take that ring finger and move it over to the third fret on the low E string. That note is a G. That's the fifth of a C major chord. So what we're going to do then is we're going to replace that C that we picked up that was on that third fret on the A string with the pinky. It just fills up. C major chord, but it just sounds a little bit thicker. From there, we're going to go to an F major bar. Now we go into bar territory. So this is the enemy to many guitars. First fret, full bar. Then the second fret there on the G, third fret on the D, third fret on the A. All right, then what you're going to do is you're going to move up 2 frets to the third fret there, same chord. It's a G major chord now. So somewhere like this. Then we're going to go to a C major chord, but we're going to play the normal C because there's this little lick that happens on. All right, so basically it goes to the 4th chord of the key with the 5th of the bass. All right, so this is a very popular move. So basically, you're gonna start with a C major, and you start a couple times, and then you're gonna hammer on from the 2nd fret to the 3rd fret on the D. And when you go over there, grab also. When you do that, move the middle finger over to the 2nd fret there on the G. So basically you hammered on the 3rd fret on the D string, and while you did that, you moved over to the 2nd fret there on the G. And what we have now is an F major triad, C in the bass. So it's just an F major in 2nd version. So really kind of just hanging out on the middle 4 strings there. And then you go back to the C, and then do that again. So kind of like that. So all together for the intro. All right, then we get to the verse, a little bit more extended chord progression here. This is when the vocals come in. It's kind of like this. So there's kind of a little turnaround there. Those last 3 chords are kind of like just a little turnaround that he does, not really part of the verse. So we started with this that same C with G in the bass, and then it goes to a D minor 7, and it does this D minor 7 voicing up here, and you hear that top note like this. So he does this voicing of it. We're going to be playing the bar at the 5th fret from the high E over to the A. So it's kind of a 5-string bar. Now in front of that, you're going to play the pinky at the 8th fret. Then at the 6th fret there on the B. Then the 7th fret there on the D. So that's a D minor 7 chord. You start something, he kind of does some kind of strumming burst on it. So we have this kind of like that. Then we're just back to that normal G bar chord, that bar chord we did in the intro there at the 3rd fret. From there we go to an E dominant 7 chord. Now this one doesn't require bars. This is the open E string, 7th fret there on the A, 6 on the D, 7 on the G, 5 on the B. Now that resolves to it, so it's a secondary dominant chord, so it's a resolve to the A minor, so down a 5th or up a 4th, whatever. But so it's a full bar at the 6th fret. I'm sorry, 5th fret. None as I say, as I do. And then in front of that bar, you'll have the 7th fret there on the D and the 7th fret on the A. So there's a lot of bar chords. I mean, you can play that down here, right? But the bar chords give it, you see videos from back in the 70s, how they're playing it. Playing mostly bar chords because it has a little bit more of a muted, kind of a, not such a big, bright, jangly sound. So, and you can kind of control the rhythm and all that stuff there. So I think that's why they're using them. So anyway, we have this so far. So after that A minor quickly goes down to the G and then down to the F at the 1st fret. Then back to the G. Then back to the A minor. And then back to kind of that same move again, kind of hitting that G once as like a passing chord. Then back to the F. And back up to the G. And then at the very end, as they play the G, you actually hear in the other instrumentation, you hear that flat 7 being added, so it turns into a dominant 7 chord. So from the major, all you gotta do to make it a dominant 7 is pick up that pinky. So now you're hearing the 3rd fret there, it's part of the bar, 3rd fret there on the D. So all right, so I'll go ahead and show you the turnaround chords and we'll play the whole thing. So it's just kind of like a turnaround before it repeats the verse again. But it basically just goes to that C with G in the bass. And back to that G. And then the G7. Alright, so it basically just did that. And then it goes back to the verse again. So let me just play this verse through without ending there. So you can just think of it, instead of a turnaround, just an ending for the first verse. So it looks like this. G7, it just goes to a C. And so it kind of does something different. So instead of doing that full C, G, C7, it just goes from that, after that G, C7, the verse it just goes. So it doesn't do that 3-chord turnaround, just one C chord. And then it takes us to this next part, which I guess he's saying Daniel all over. So I'm just gonna call this the chorus. It's not really like a verse chord, first chord, like, oh, here's a big chorus, and then bring it down the verse. So I'm just gonna call this the chorus. So it looks like this. Gets to the synth solo. All right, so that chorus there is going to start with the F, a little bit more, kind of a little picking burst there. And I'm not much of a strumming pattern guy. So you see this in the comments from time to time, all the time. In that, people ask me for a specific strumming pattern and stuff. And I talk about every once in a while in videos that I don't believe in strumming patterns. Maybe for a complete, total beginner to understand that there's a pattern there. But somebody who can follow this lesson and knows bar chords and stuff should not need a strumming pattern. You should be able to intuitively listen to something and mimic what it sounds like. If you don't have the ability, you're focusing on the wrong thing when you're strumming. And you're overcomplicating it. Don't analyze this stuff like that. It shuts off the intuitive side of your brain. So if you have issues with strumming and being able to just listen to a song and just kind of mimic the strumming and the rhythm, I have an entire course called Rhythm Foundations that'll show you how to do this. There's another beginner course in there too called Getting Started. It has same kind of lessons, some of those same type of rhythm lessons in it that'll kind of open up that intuitive side of your playing. So it's not something you're over analyzing. So if you have a pattern, you're generally very stiff and you're thinking about it too much. You're not just feeling it anymore. So as long as you have the right principles in them with the continuous motion of the strumming hand, and you can feel the pulse of the music, which you would not enjoy music if you couldn't. Once again, if you can't feel it, if you think you can't feel it, you're overthinking it. You'll be fine, and the pattern will work itself out naturally. So that's why I don't go into this stuff. I might say it's it's a little bit more active and stuff like that, but I'm just intuitively listening, and things also don't repeat constantly the same way. These people are not playing specific set patterns in their brain. They're not thinking of a pattern. They're just feeling this stuff, and that's how you want to do it too. All right, so we're going to start here with this F to that C with G in the bass. Rotate between those a couple times. From there, we'll go up to this A minor. Once again, we're going to do the bar, not the open chord, but the bar at the 5th fret. So that's up here, full bar at the 5th fret once again, 7th on the A and the D. Then take that back down to the F at the 1st fret. And then we have a, whoa, what was that? So that's an A flat major chord. So that's a, whoa, 6 out. All right. So that's from that F, just move up 3 frets, and just hit it once, and then then we're back to that C with G in the bass, and then we go to an A non-minor, an A dominant 7 chord. It's treating it as a secondary dominant now, that's going to resolve to the D minor. So that is 5th fret bar again, but in front of that, we're just going to play the 6th fret there on the G, and the 7th fret there on the A. So it's the same shape we did with the G, but up with the 5th fret. And then we're going to go to that D minor 7 that we did before, but it's a different voicing. Remember that other voicing had that high note on the high E string, the 8th fret? He doesn't have that note on there now. Just a normal D minor 7th position. So it's just basically pick up that finger. It's a 5th fret on the high E now. It's part of the bar. And then it goes to a G. So far, altogether, the chorus is like this. From there, it goes to that synth solo, and the synth solo is over the verse, but it's over the verse. There's an ending at the verse. So at the end of the verse, like I said, there's always like a little turnaround. So at the end of the verse chord, when it does this at the end of the verse, this is underneath the synth solo. When it goes to that G7 at the end of the verse. So it's just one time through the verse chords underneath this synth solo. When it gets to there, it just has that ending that we did kind of in the intro. So it just kind of does that again. So right from that G7. And then it goes back to the chorus. So the same basic chorus. So the same thing we did before. All right, and then so after the chorus, we're back to the verse again. So this verse has a little bit different ending, just kind of an extended ending. We kind of repeat the ending chords again. So let me play through this verse really quick. This is the last verse in the song right before the outro. So it looks like this. So basically all we did was after that G7. So that basically the last 3 chords of the verse, so the F, the G, the G7. So it does those 3 chords like at the end of the normal verse, right? And then it just takes it to a C with G in the bass. And then it does those last 3 chords in the verse again. So it just extended the ending. That little C over G. So same thing. And then from there, it goes to the outro, which is pretty simple. All right, so that was just the C with G in the bass. Then to the F. Up to the normal G major. And then that little figure that we do in the C chord. So you play the C chord. Take it to F over C. Back to C. So we've covered that, so that's why I'm flying through it. It just does it once though in the outro. Just end on that C. So all together for the outro one more time. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. It is a great one. Great chord workout for bar chords and stuff. And it's an Elton John classic, so cannot go wrong with that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you again soon for guitar lessons, 365.com.